Welcome to the Weird Works podcast. I'm Dr. Christy, your host. Join us for conversations about alternative and sometimes controversial healthcare topics. This podcast will provide the evidence that you need in order to make informed decisions about your health, to empower you with the facts that you need to advocate for your health, and to encourage you that there is hope your body heals. Join us from experts from all things weird, as well as the testimonies of people with stories of radical healing who were once told that perhaps their condition was a death sentence, that they would just need to live with it, or that drugs and invasive surgery were the only answer. Let's get into agreement that if there is something natural and non-invasive that could be helpful, that it could be your first option rather than your last resort. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Weird Works podcast. So I have one of my own here today, which I'm always super excited about. We have Tara Lambert, and she is going to teach us about liquid collagen and all the ins and outs. So you can see her lovely glowing skin. She's a living, breathing testament of healthy living, nutrition, and then this cool thing that we're going to teach you about. But Tara's practiced for 18 years, first in upstate New York. I was just telling her, practiced just south of Cayuga Lake in the Finger Lakes, where is my hometown where I grew up. And then she is a clinical nutritionist and a master level nutrition response testing practitioner. So she also does the muscle testing, which we love. And now she's helping people virtually in her hometown. She's back in New York City. She's helped thousands of people to improve their health and their lives, and her goal is to be a catalyst of change that helps propel you into positive action so that you achieve and maintain optimal health while going about your own life's purpose, full of energy and vitality, which I love that. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I love doing this, and this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, we're going to nerd out together. We love all the science. But the reason why I got Tara on the show was because she kept posting, I don't know, how long have you been? Has it been a year or longer? Maybe a year since I tuned in. I don't know.
Months, actually.
Really? Okay. So I kept seeing all these beautiful before and after pictures of people who have done her programs and used some of the products that we're going to talk to you about today. And these people literally look like they had cosmetic surgery or something a lot more invasive than just diet and nutrition and healthy living. And I kept seeing them. But then we have had more and more patients come in, especially with hair loss, especially after having the, well-known virus that's out there in the world. And people were coming in devastated and in tears, afraid to wash their hair or brush their hair, thinking these women, poor things, thought they were going to go bald, literally. So I reached out to you and I said, okay, give me the pitch. Tell me what the deal is. What are you using? And now we have it in the practice, and we're getting great testimonials as well. But on the weird work side, we're going to talk to you about why Tara and I both drink liquid chicken sternums. How is that for weird? Doesn't that fit right in?
Weird. And it's just this little, the tip of the wishbone. So yes, we are drinking liquid chicken sternums. I love it.
That's what we do. Okay, so I'm sure most people, do you have your own healing journey? How did you get involved in natural medicine? You want to share?
Sure. And I'll keep it brief because it's such a long story.
Okay.
As far back as I can remember, I was absolutely fascinated with health and the body and anything to do with helping the body be healthy naturally. Mm-hmm. But I never, ever considered it could be a career. And to the point where I was actually living in Ecuador in South America. I lived there for 5 years, and I opened up a cafe. And it was a health food oriented cafe. And I was behind the bar making all kinds of juices and cocktails and putting supplements in it for travelers' diarrhea and altitude sickness because it was in a tourist area. And I still never thought that it could be made into a career. But I've had several bouts of very serious, very complicated health issues throughout my entire life. So that's one of the reasons I've always been focused on health. And my family, we started very traditionally, very conservatively with conventional medicine. Mm-hmm. It failed me miserably, and it made things just a million times worse over and over and over again. Yeah. And so little by little, my mom and I started looking into, at that time it was called alternative medicine. I prefer the word complementary or holistic because it's not an all or nothing. It's we need to take cherry picking, take the best of both worlds.
Right.
So, you know, eventually I was so incredibly sick. I had to move back to the United States from Ecuador. And I was just very, very lucky that my mother had literally just met a nutrition response testing practitioner like the weekend before.
Nice.
And she brought me to her office, and instantly I knew that I was on the right path and I was going to get well, and I did. And instantly I knew that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And it's actually been 19 years. So
19 now? That's awesome. Yeah, I had a feeling, because most people don't just join, like, do the weirdest, most obscure thing, not, you know, just because they knew about it from undergrad and pursued it from right out of the gate. So it makes complete sense. So then in your practice, like, what were some of the cases that you typically saw? I know for us, we're like adrenal, thyroid, and anything related to stress. So was that kind of the same for you?
yeah, I would say so. I know you're currently practicing in Florida, and I had my practice at a brick and mortar practice for 15 years in Ithaca. And told that to our friend, our colleague, Sophie, so she's still running my practice. So in that brick and mortar practice, it was the same as you. I think it's the same as we're finding throughout the nation and probably throughout the world, you know, stress, fatigue, trouble sleeping, hormonal issues, digestive issues, you know, and just general overall, you know, just not being well and not feeling well no matter what a person does and tries.
Yeah, and that feeds right into the inability to heal and repair body tissues appropriately, right?
That's exactly right. Well put.
So how did you, the products that we're going to talk today about, the liquid collagen, how did you get involved with them? Because I know for me, I just personally haven't found a great collagen product. I've been wishy-washy with patients when they ask about it. We've found some that are at least are very clean, but then, you know, kind of not super excited about the results that we were getting. So is that kind of how you were led to find it?
Yeah, exactly like that, actually. So probably around 10 years ago, I started using powdered collagen, a powdered peptide collagen that was, and is very popular. Actually, it was less known then. It's become popular now. And at that point, I liked it. You know, it got results with some people. So it wasn't across the board. It wasn't a miracle. It was that for some people, it had some effect. And so like for me, it helped me with my hair. Like I had lost some hair in the corners, but I didn't notice any joint health recovery or anything like that. But it was like, okay, so we used it. That's what was available. And I was disappointed, just like you. And I hadn't found another brand, even though, you know, I was in touch with various colleagues, like, what brand do you use? And we were all sharing brands, right? And I tried them all. I think I've tried every collagen product on the market over the past 10 years. And just like you, I was like super disappointed.
Yeah.
So when this particular powdered peptide collagen I was using, it actually sold to Nestle in the past year or something like that. And I was so disappointed because they changed their formula and they added ascorbic acid. And it was so upsetting to me because I was already not in love with it. And I felt so like, what am I going to do? Because the body's made 80 to 90% of our soft tissue is made up of collagen, and losing collagen, we lose it at a rate of 1 to 2% per year after the age of around 25. Wow. I was like, you know, what are we going to do? Because in order to repair the soft tissues of the body, we need a source of collagen, and bone broth wasn't cutting it. Yeah. So I was, again, so lucky because I was in this quandary and I was literally researching and I was reaching out to my colleagues, and a friend of mine who I had known for a few years, and I knew that she did something with collagen, but she wasn't a practitioner. So I never thought to ask her. And so she actually decided to do one of my virtual detox programs, just a mini program. And in my program, I have collagen. And so she saw that and she said, would you mind if I use my own collagen, because it's really a high quality collagen? And I was like, what are you using? What is it?
Tell me all about it.
I'll be honest, you know, because she wasn't a practitioner,
right?
I wasn't immediately like, oh, this must be a great collagen, but my curiosity was piqued, especially because she was so emphatic about the quality, right? Yeah. And so she was awesome because she didn't hit me over the head with it. She just said, would you mind reading the science on it?
Yeah.
And I was like, hallelujah, there's science on it, send it to me.
Yeah.
And so I read the science. This is, by the way, this is I'm gonna, all the catchphrases. It's like that gold.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's peer reviewed, third party, what I'm getting all the words, randomized, placebo controlled, peer reviewed, third party, literally the gold standard. And it is it's PubMed studies. So they have been published in medical journals. So this isn't a private study, it's a clinical, and by the way, there's 37 human clinical trials done on hundreds of human beings, not like on rabbits and rats and stuff like that. So I was like, whoa, like none of the collagens, powdered collagens I came across had 37 human clinical trials that were peer reviewed, third party, placebo control, randomized, PubMed studies. And I was like, I'll read it.
Yeah. So
I read them and I was like, again, my eyes were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, if this is true, like even if half of this is true, like how have I not known about this as a practitioner? Like how has this not come into my universe? And this is like a dream come true, because after almost 20-year career, and like you, especially being a chiropractor, you know how hard it is to repair soft tissues.
Yeah.
And how important that is, because if the body has been chronically ill or if there's been an injury, not only do we need to provide the proper nutrition and the proper diet and the proper exercise and the proper physical therapy, somehow we have to get that soft tissue to repair. And it's very difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's how I found it. Yeah.
Well, and I figured, because just knowing that you're part of our world in nutrition response testing, I know our colleagues, like we very, rigorously scrutinize the product, and you probably use it on yourself like I did before I even bring it to the patients. I tell my patients I'm their like human living guinea pig. I don't recommend anything that I wouldn't be willing or haven't already done to myself, because, we educate our patients so well on reading labels, keeping chemicals out of the diet, using whole food products, things that aren't artificial or synthetic or isolates. And so, I'm sure you were like having to check all these boxes off to make sure that this product was a fit amongst all the other wonderful products that you've used and recommended, right?
Yeah, like I'm so glad you brought that up. Absolutely. Like any of us who are nutrition response testers, any of us who are natural practitioners of any kind, we personally usually have our own health story. So it's like so important for us personally that our products are super clean. And then we have our integrity and we have our ethical standards as practitioners, that if we're going to recommend a product to our patients, our clients, our family members who trust us, like it is our ethical obligation to make sure that we are only recommending the top of the line, the highest quality. And the two of us have that available to us. Like we have practitioner only products available to us that are not out there in the grocery stores, not available to the public. So we literally have the cream of the crop to choose from.
Right.
And so, and it's like, here we are, like using this liquid collagen. So I'm so conservative, like over the almost 2 decades that I've been practicing, I've become more conservative. Mm-hmm. I've become more careful. Like I'm not a cowgirl. Like I'm not a renegade. Like I don't get into fads and I don't get into things that are popular. What I do is I read, I watch, and I study, and I wait.
You're probably like me. I always say that I'm not an early adopter. Like I'm not going to jump on a fad bandwagon. Like I'm not going to be the guinea pig or the experiment. I'm like, let's just see how this plays out. And then I will formulate my decision on whether it's like true to what we stand for. Yeah.
Yeah. We sound identical in that regard. Yeah. Like I won't do it to myself, and I certainly don't want that responsibility of recommending something that turns out to be harmful in the long run.
Right.
So on that point, like specifically on that point, the formulation of this product has a 20-year history. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm like, how do I not know about this? And my colleagues, like, you didn't know about it. Like we didn't know about this product. So it's formulated by a woman, which is just super cool. And she started this research about 20 years ago. And then around 10 years ago, it became the liquid version. Okay. And so it has a very long history, and it's been, studied out the wazoo, like I already mentioned, with the 37 human clinical trials with hundreds of humans. And then, I did a deep dive into the ingredients. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that bothered me, which people ask constantly, so I'll just jump right into it, is it organic? Yeah, because lots of the powdered collagens out there say that it's organic. Right. And so it seemed initially, I was like, wah. But then, of course, I really did a deep dive. And so it can't be organic, just like standard process can't use organic ingredients. The volume doesn't exist. Like there aren't enough farms to produce this teeny tiny, I have to explain to you, it's the tip of the wishbone. So it's not the skin of cows or pigs. It's not the hoofs of animals. It's not the scales of fish. It's not the hair. It's not the connective tissue or stomach lining or intestinal lining. It is a teeny tiny little piece of cartilage at the very tip of a chicken sternum wishbone.
How did they ever find out that was it?
Seriously, and it is the most biocompatible, so most bioidentical cartilage, articular, so joint cartilage to humans. So not the cows, not the pigs, not the fish. Chicken sternum cartilage. So for that reason, it couldn't be certified organic, but it is absolutely GMO-free, hormone-free, and antibiotic-free, exactly like standard process. Right. And it's only from North American farms, and it's grade A. It's very clean. But then what makes it even cleaner than organic powders is that cartilage tissue doesn't have a blood source. So it's not contaminated. It doesn't have lymph, it doesn't have blood, and it doesn't have nerve. So it cannot be contaminated by the diseases that travel through blood, lymph, and nerve. So you already have a super clean tissue source. And then on top of that, no antibiotics, no hormones, and GMO free. So I was like, wow, this woman did her research. This was not a fly by night. This isn't a fad. This isn't a whim, because collagen right now is a buzzword. This is deeply researched.
So you had just said collagen is a buzzword, and it's you can find it in skincare products, and you can find it in capsules and powders and all sorts of crazy things. Why is it such a hype? I mean, because of what it's supposed to do. I mean, our bodies are made of collagen, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm only talking my opinion. I think it's so popular right now because of anti-aging.
Yeah.
The generation in general, the population in general, is getting older, and the baby boomers are a huge percent of the population. And as we get smarter in science, we realize that we have every potentiality to live to 120. Mm-hmm. And this huge population that's aging. I'm aging.
I know, me too.
I share my age. I'm 47 and a half. My husband's 50. It's no joke. The aging process is no joke. Things really occur. So I think that's why it's so popular. Also, I think that since social media has become more popular, appearance has become more important. So people are looking for hair, skin, eyes, eyelashes, eyebrows, teeth, nails, so there's the outward appearance and then the anti-aging properties.
Yeah. I think everybody associates appearance with inward health too. We know if everybody wants to look better, feel better, right? But it's not always that attainable or easy. If it were that easy, I always say everybody would be healthy and doing well. So that's why we're trying to bring you guys information and products and things that you can do and implement easily into your daily routines. Okay, so let's talk about the collagen molecule. So as far as I understand, and I'll let you go in a whole lot more depth, but collagen, kind of similar to some of our macro minerals, is a huge molecule. So with that said, it means it's hard for the body to digest and absorb, but then break it down and get it into the cells where it needs to be to repair tissues. So tell us how the liquid collagen is the solution for that.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question, because I think the number one question I get asked is, why is this collagen different? You know, like, why can't I just take the collagen that's at my gas station? Or why can't I take the collagen that's on the grocery shelf? Like, well, it's collagen. Why is this different? Why can't I just consume bone broth?
Right.
And like, please do consume your bone broth.
Mm-hmm.
So just like Christy said, the problem with collagen is, just backing up for 1 second, it was mentioned, but 80 to 90% of the soft tissue of our body is made of collagen and hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. It's a matrix that exists in nature as a molecule. So it's not synthetic hyaluronic acid, it's not synthetic chondroitin sulfate. It's collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate as a molecule matrix. And that is the way that nature put it together. So that's what our soft tissue is made out of. And literally around the age of 25 to 30, we begin to lose that at a rate of 1 to 2% per year. And there's nothing you can do about it. It is the aging process. It's literally the definition of the aging process. We begin to dehydrate from the inside out. So we go from like a plum to a prune, or a grape to a raisin. You know, look at a brand new baby and how plump they are. They're filled with collagen, hyaluronic acid. And then you look at a 100-year-old who is beautiful in that aging process, but you see the dehydration and the wrinkles and how they've literally shrunk. And so we see that with our skin and our hair and nails on the outside, but on the inside, that's exactly what's happening to our organs. Every system of our body is made of connective tissue and soft tissue, so that's what's occurring.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you tired of going from diet to diet to come up short and feel worse than you did when you started? Or are you just lost with all the mixed messaging out there today and not sure what's best for you and your lifestyle? Maybe you were told that you had to live with your symptoms and accept feeling less than your typical vibrant self. Well, I'm here to tell you the truth. As a practicing doctor of chiropractic, kinesiology, and clinical nutrition, I see people all the time that are just like you, frustrated and starting to lose hope. But I do want you to know that you do not have to give up on the you that you know you could be. There is a way to truly achieve optimal health and also to live your life. I want to share with you how, by doing some small, doable adjustments and taking on a new approach to enjoyable and non-restrictive eating, we can help you start feeling better and begin to see changes in your waistline and start releasing weight in as little as 14 days.
So up until this amazing technology, we've only had things like bone broth because to try to repair or replace the missing collagen, because you cannot exercise collagen back into the body. And you cannot eat collagen back into the body through your diet because collagen is an enormous molecule, like Christy was just saying. So it exists in nature. So just imagine trying to fit a basketball through a chain link fence. Yes. Like that's what it's like trying to digest a collagen molecule. You know, it just won't go through. And so when we consume bone broth, for example, we're cooking it, so it denatures or breaks down the protein to a certain extent, and we digest, and you have to have good digestion, by the way, to receive about 15 to 30% maximum. We're going to get some collagen from that bone broth, but that's only if you have perfect digestion. If you have any digestive issues, you're going to absorb less. And so the powdered collagen out there, when you see hydrolyzed and you see peptides, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make that molecule smaller so that you can absorb it. But what's happening is that it's denaturing or breaking down the protein. Collagen is a protein. So they're breaking down or denaturing that protein in order to make that molecule smaller. And what occurs is that it makes it less effective because now you've destroyed what nature created.
Right, exactly.
And so you're, again, only going to absorb approximately 15 to 30% of that if you have perfect digestion. But the quality of that 15 to 30% is very low because it's been destroyed through heat, through the process of hydrolyzation or the process of making a peptide. You've actually destroyed that protein. So this is a problem. It's a real problem that people have been trying to solve for a long time. Yeah. So the genius, her name is Asma Isak. And she started on this 20 years ago. basically it's proprietary, of course, you know, anything like this is always proprietary. She figured out how to take that basketball-sized molecule without denaturing it, without structurally changing the matrix of collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate. She shrank it. And it's called a Dalton, is the size of a molecule. And there's a Goldilocks point. So it can't be too big and it can't be too small, because, you know, so we're trying to get that basketball through chain link fence. So basically she shrunk it to like a pea size. So you can just like throw it right through that chain link. Just going straight into our bloodstream is the equivalent. But if it's too small, it won't be effective and our body can't use it. If it's too big, we simply can't absorb it. So she took years of research to figure out the Goldilocks, you know, it's just right, size that absorbs into our bloodstream sublingually and through the mucosal tissue, which means that the instant we put it in our mouth, it goes straight into our bloodstream through our sublingually, so through our mucosal lining of our mouth, our esophagus, our stomach, and our intestines, which means even if your digestion is a mess, within like 10 seconds to a minute, the collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate is going into your bloodstream. Just
awesome. Yeah, it's so awesome, which is great because you need collagen to heal your gut. So if you're having, I mean, I don't even know the numbers on this. I don't know if you do either, but who has perfect digestion in America? Like nobody.
I've never met anyone.
Yeah. So she's talking to you if you're wondering. You don't have perfect digestion. But yeah, it's so neat because then you can absorb it and then start to heal and repair. I think that's important because you were talking about like the beauty industry and like aging, and like we can, you know, associate aging when we see changes on the outside of the body. I love that you said, well, if that's what's going on the outside of the body, then that's what's happening on the inside as well. So all your tissues. So, you know, talk about maybe how collagen is important, not just for hair, skin, and nails.
Great. I love that. I mean, all your questions are so awesome because it's exactly what people ask.
I know. Good.
Yeah, it's, you know, so like I said, you know, one of the reasons it's so popular is because of the appearance, the hair, skin, and nails aspect of it, because then we start to glow, we start to have full hair, we start to have clear skin, you know, plumpness. It's so important because what you see happening on the outside is what's happening on the inside. And so as you age, you see wrinkles appear like around your eyes. And that's literally the breakdown of collagen and elastin and fibrin in your tissues, right? Mm-hmm. So you can look in the mirror and you can see that. That is what's happening to your spine, you know, your liver, your stomach, your intestines, your thyroid, your brain, for God's sakes. You know, it is dehydrating and breaking down. And that's why as we age, we develop illness. And that's why as we age, we develop symptoms and eventually we die because the organs stop working. And we can literally gauge our internal health by, you know, the health of our gums, the health of our teeth, the health of our eyes, the health of our hair is an indicator of our internal health as well.
And that's what doctors used to do, right? Before all the technology and diagnostic imaging and, you know, just advancement in medicine, doctors looked at you. They looked at the quality of your hair, skin, nails. They looked at your eyes and your earlobes. Oriental medicine still does it. You know, they look at your tongue analysis. So that tells us so much about the internal health and whether things are breaking down.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. And we do that for our animals, right? Because they can't talk. Like, what's the first thing the vet does? They look at their gums, their teeth, their eyes, their ears, their fur. Like, we do that for our pets. We have to do that for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it could be hard if we're wearing artificial nails or we're wearing makeup or we're coloring our hair, but we can see the health underneath that. You cannot put makeup over top of a problem, right? It shows through.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so tell us maybe the next question I can see people asking, because in the literature, it's like, oh, type 1 collagen is good for this, and type 2 is for this, and 3, and then all the way up. I think there's 5 types of collagen. Is that right? Or is there more? Dozens. Okay. So those are like the only ones, the major ones that are on like labels and people know about. So what types of collagen are in this product?
Yeah, so this is so interesting, actually. Like, this was like, I geeked out on this.
Good.
So yeah, so there's literally like dozens of, they're always discovering more types of collagen. The more they study collagen and aging, they're finding new types of collagen, but it doesn't really matter because 1 through 3 is the most important. It's the most, out of the soft tissues of our body, 1 through 3 makes up the vast majority of that soft tissue. So that's really all that matters. And what's part, because collagen is a buzzword, and marketing gets very clever. So certain companies will start to say that type 4 is really important, or type 5 is really important. And it's yeah, we need it, right? But it's more marketing. And I wanted to say, like, on the size of the Dalton size of the molecule, because that fits into this 1, 2, and 3 type collagen. I said it's patented. Like, this woman was really brilliant, and she knew what she had in her hands, and she had this on her hands before collagen was a buzzword. So she was really the pioneer. And when she learned what she had on her hands, she patented the size of that molecule, but she didn't just patent the size of the molecule that's like the Goldilocks effect. She patented all the, like, so many sizes smaller and so many sizes larger. And she has 7 international patents on it. Wow. So that has really put other companies in a sticky situation, because they cannot use that size molecule, and they can't use a size smaller, and they can't use a size larger. So then they resort to very clever marketing. And the type of collagen is one of those clever marketing tricks. And I felt for it, previously. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God I can read these studies and understand them. So the collagen that we're talking about is type 2. And that is articular collagen. That means it's the collagen that is in our cartilage. And so people immediately are going to say, well, how does that help my skin, hair, and nails? Because, skin, hair, and nails is predominantly type 1 and type 3. And so they clinically proved, and this is great because a lot of, if you know how to read labels, and if you know how to read marketing, you know how to get past the cleverness of the marketing, where they say, improve the appearance of wrinkles. The appearance of wrinkles, as opposed to improves wrinkles.
Yeah, right, exactly. Let's just get them let's get them gone.
Let's get them gone. And to be legally, like, able to say, because you have the studies to prove it, to say this eliminates wrinkles, this grows hair. So they can legally say this grows hair, this repairs tissue, this eliminates wrinkles, because it's proven to do so. And what they found in their studies is that the type 2 cartilage, when the good quality enters the body synthesizes internally type 1, 2, and 3, and all the other cartilage, or all the other types that they're discovering, the body makes it. It's like brilliant.
Well, and that's so in line with what we always want to do, right? Like, we've said that, like, think about thyroid hormone, for example, right? So thyroid hormone, we don't want to give the body thyroid hormone and have it do the job and make us lazy thyroid. So we don't want to give the body a product, even collagen, that's going to make the body lazy and not able to do it. So always, if in our medicine, we can get the body to do what it was already designed to do and make more of something naturally, that is most root cause to me, right?
Yeah, like, this fits so much in alignment with my philosophy and your philosophy. Like, we have decades of a whole foods philosophy, and we have decades of the body heals itself philosophy. And we just need to give the building blocks, the correct building blocks, so that the body heals itself. And so when I, stumbled across this, or it was introduced to me, and I started understanding it, I was like, wow, like, this is 100% in alignment with what we're already doing, and the philosophy that we have regarding supplements, and the philosophy that we have regarding how the body repairs itself.
Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it. No wonder we're seeing such amazing results. So then, do you want to talk about some success stories that you've seen? What are some of the things that you've worked with us longer than I have? We're already seeing, because it takes, I think you explained to me, 2 to 3 months for collagen to really start to repair itself. So you can't make a judgment call on a product if you've taken it for less time than that. We're starting now to collect some success stories, but share some of the cool things you've seen. I know I wish you could see her before and after pictures. We'll have to get the links for it, and then we'll start posting our own before and after pictures as they come in too, because that really tells the story.
Yeah, I jaw drop daily. Like, it's, you asked me what I was doing because of the pictures that I was posting on social media, and they're real pictures. They're my family members. It's my mother, it's my father-in-law. It's my clients that I have permission to share. Like, these are not stock photos. These are my actual clients and family members that I'm posting. And after a 2-decade career of some amazing miracles and amazing health recovery, and physical metamorphosis I've never seen anything like this. Like, I have never seen the kinds of visible results that I've seen and that Christy's talking about. So, there's so many. You're probably going to have to interrupt me. So I'm just trying to, where do I start? Let's start with some ones that would be incredulous. So one that would be incredulous to people is my 85-year-old father-in-law who has, we want to try not to talk about disease. Let's just say he's got a lot of diagnoses. Okay. And he's 85 years old. He goes to work every single day, but he's got a lot going on. And so I was like, to my husband, I was like, let's try it. All we can do is try it. So I took photographs, all kinds of photographs of him because, like Christy, I'm a guinea pig. And then my family members are guinea pigs.
Yeah, they have to help us study this stuff.
So I was like, I went to the factory and I took pictures, I had his shoes off, I was in his hair. He's regrowing his hair at 85 years old, male pattern baldness, which is genetic. He is literally regrowing his hair. And I'm like, at 85 years old, that's not supposed to be possible. So that's one, and I have it documented.
Yeah.
My 81-year-old mother, she was 80 at the time. Of course, she was one of my first guinea pigs.
Yeah.
2 things with her. One is that the upper eyelid was sagging, and it was interfering with her vision, and it was really bothering her. And she was literally just about to call her surgeon and have surgery to lift up her upper eyelid. And I was like, and she's talking about, she wanted to do various things because she had just had it surgery wise, and she had a knee replacement. And I was like, Mom, let's try this first and let's just see what happens. So I asked her to take her own photographs. We don't live near each other. And I didn't even ask her for a follow-up photo at 6 weeks later. All of a sudden, on my phone, there's these pictures of her eyelids. And she sent me her before and afters, and I put them together. It was as if she had surgery because the upper eyelid had lifted completely. And at 80 years old, and I was already excited, but I really started to get excited, at that point. And then she has a knee replacement. So she came to visit me, and now she was 81. And then she came 2 months ago, and I have video of her running upstairs, running up the stairs. And we walked miles all over Manhattan. She doesn't have a cane. She didn't, ask to stop. She wasn't in pain. These are, honestly, it's a strong word, but these are miracles.
Yeah.
Because it gives you your life back, and the quality of life is so important.
Yeah.
And I can go on and on and on.
Well, and you just mentioned 2 huge things, the medical answer for those are invasive and come with a lot of side effects and risk. The one, for male pattern baldness, what do? They prescribe testosterone, and that can cause cardiac risk and other hormone imbalance and issues and liver toxicity. And then, of course, surgery, joint surgery and cosmetic surgery, all is with risks and anesthesia and pain meds. And, it just creates a little bit of a storm of, for our work, having to repair these bodies after they've had some kind of invasive procedure. So that's phenomenal,
That's right. And for those instances where we do need surgery, this really helps the repair process and the recovery from surgery, especially if you can get on it prior to surgery, because the quality of your soft tissue is going to be that much stronger and that much healthier. And so you'll have a better surgery and then a better result, but the recovery will be significantly faster and easier. And like for the pets, for example, I'm friends with some veterinarians, and they started putting their personal, like their own pets on it. And one of the things that they sent back to me is that one of their pets had just had surgery. And these are elderly dogs, and how fast they recovered from the surgery, and that they were acting like puppies and running around, and they're like had more energy, and they were like different dogs, right? Yeah. And so yeah, so if we do have to have surgery, like this is important. And somebody said to me, and I loved it, it's like the elderly with this bounce, they don't break.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, I mean, my mom has fallen, George's mom just fell, she's 80, you know, and it's like they bounce, they don't break, because the bones, remember, is as they dehydrate, they're going to break. But if they're filled with hyaluronic acid, if they're filled with collagen, they're going to bend. And that's what we want.
And that's, you know, and that's another thing, like there's no amazing answer for loss of bone density as we age. So that's kind of a similar phenomenon. Not only in your 30s do you lose collagen, but you lose the mineralization and calcium in the bone tissue. So unless you've been doing something since your 30s to maintain the integrity, you know, of mineral and bone and elasticity and collagen, you're definitely losing it. But that, you know, there's medications out there for osteoporosis and osteopenia, and it really literally creates brittle bone. So everybody always thinks about minerals and bone, but you need collagen and protein to make the bones flexible and tensile, where they can withstand force and compression, such as a fall. So that's pretty neat.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Americans spend $33 billion every single year on diets and weight loss products, and yet diets have a 95% failure rate. These statistics and my 18 plus years experience as a practicing doctor show me the real dangers of a cookie cutter approach to health, and that truthfully, diets don't work. This is why I created the 90-10 lifestyle, for the people like you and me, busy and not willing to settle for less when it comes to our health and wellness. This program isn't just about feeling fantastic and or losing weight for good. It's a roadmap to upgrading your body and mind from the inside out, while simultaneously suppressing the inflammation and suppressing the guilt that often comes with a high stress, high expectations, and high performance. The number one reason the 90-10 lifestyle is so effective and easy to maintain is that it gives you back your willpower instead of forcing it. Well, so we love the liquid collagen, of course, but this beautiful company has figured out how to get some of their awesome collagen matrix in some other products. I think my list is the same as yours of other favorites, but do you want to talk about some of the other things that they have?
Yeah, like, again, like I'm blown away like with the smarts basically of Asma Isak. She is the driving force behind all of this. She's the, you know, the bright idea. So, you know, taking the liquid collagen is super simple, by the way. It's literally 1 tablespoon, which is 15 milliliters. It's not a silverware spoon from your drawer, but 15 milliliters. I actually literally did this on purpose.
Oh, good job.
Like if you can read that, 15, and it's there, 15 milliliters twice a day. That's it. You know, that's it. It tastes delicious, by the way. So that's the supplement. But so my personal next favorite product is it's a weight management. So very, like, I did not say weight loss. It's weight management. It's a body composition product. And so it's a combination of the same exact liquid collagen mixed with CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid. And it's a very particular fat that has been studied extensively for decades. And it's known to basically replace stubborn fat in cells, in particular the belly fat. You know, that really stubborn fat, especially as we age. You know, I'm perimenopausal. It's no joke. You know, it is no joke, the stubborn belly fat, the 10 to 15 pound gain, you know, even if you eat perfectly and exercise and you're healthy, there is a hormonal shift. And so anyway, brilliant product. It's just those 2 ingredients is the liquid collagen plus the CLA. So it helps the body basically to replace the stubborn fat with the conjugated linoleic acid. And so the fat cells release the stubborn fat out of the body when you go to the bathroom. And over time, and everything is over time, right? Little by little, the composition shifts so that your lean muscle mass increases and your body fat decreases. And you may or may not actually shed pounds. Like personally, my weight on the scale was identical. It didn't shift by a single pound. Whereas another client of mine who I've been working with for 10 years, and her weight was so stubborn, I'm telling you, nothing we did. And she was compliant. She was like the kind of client you ask for, you know, she was so compliant. Her weight would not budge. And I love this as a catalyst because she has lost 40 or 45 pounds.
Wow.
And it was just, her body just needed help. It just simply needed help releasing that fat that it would not release. Yeah. So I'm in love with this product. It's not right for everyone, by the way. If you are missing a gallbladder or you have gallbladder issues, it may or may not be okay for you. I still give it to people. My mom has a gallbladder issue and my mother-in-law does not have a gallbladder. So we just test it. You know, it's just like, let's see how you do. And it would just be that you need a little bit less. So outside of that, people do very, very well on it.
I just ordered mine. I can't wait to try it. So I'll get back to y'all on how that's working. So then the next one that I know that I got on the bandwagon about, I'm sure because you posted it or Sarah Outlaw posted it, one of our other amazing practitioners in the field, colleagues, was the coffee with the creamer duo. So do you want to talk about the ingredients that are in there? Because personally, I've been trying to do bulletproof coffees for years, but I could never tolerate the caffeine in coffee. I can do some for tea, but I'm an anxious person and I do not need that like hyperstimulation. And I've been an adrenal fatigue patient for life, so my adrenals don't need it either. But I can do this one and now get the benefit of the mind performance with a little bit of caffeine in there. So how is that balanced out?
Yeah, this, I have to say for me personally, my outside of the liquid collagen is the coffee for my body. Yeah. This is another miracle product for me. And it has been for my family members and so many of my clients too. It's coffee, right? But coffee is not the magic ingredient in this. It's just that coffee helps to stimulate the brain basically. So that's why it's a coffee product. This is a brain supplement. And so what it is it's coffee with the same liquid collagen that we've been talking about, which crosses the blood-brain barrier, by the way, and helps the soft tissue of the brain. So all by itself, the liquid collagen is already supporting brain health. But the brilliance of this product is that they added something called nootropics. And nootropics are basically supplements that support brain health. So it supports healthy brain aging. And it supports concentration, and it supports focus, and it supports cognitive health. And so it has something called L-theanine in it, which is an amino acid, and that balances the caffeine. So like what Chrissy was saying, like she can't tolerate coffee, but she can tolerate this. I hear that constantly from people, and myself, like just like you, like I've had adrenal issues, I think, since I was a teenager. And even worse, a few years ago, I think it was 6 years ago, I had an exposure to a toxin, and it basically attacked my thyroid. And it was a very mysterious and a very difficult case to solve, like extremely difficult. But as a result of it attacking my thyroid, I did wind up on thyroid medication. It was a last resort. So, I wound up on thyroid medication. It definitely affected my cognitive abilities. When your thyroid is messed with, it's your hormones. And then I also entered perimenopause. It was just like a perfect storm. Right. And I was forgetting words. I could, word recall names. It was very hard to be a practitioner, be a professional and be talking and not remember the word protein.
I do.
Protein. Like that kind of.
Yeah, you say like fill in the blank kind of thing. Like you played charades, right?
You know, when you're eating, you know, that food on the chicken. You know, and I think so many people have experienced that, especially through aging.
Yes.
So this product is all about brain aging, cognitive health, and so I have family members that I have age-related cognitive decline, and so they are on this. Like I tell them, it is not your coffee, it is your brain supplement, and it needs to be thought of that way. And then the creamer is, so you mentioned the bulletproof coffee, right? It's been super popular for a really long time. Some people do okay with it, and some people just do not do well with it at all. And so they created a creamer. There is some milk in this creamer. So I have had a few people not be able to tolerate it because there is dairy in it. Others who aren't so dairy sensitive do beautifully on it, like I do beautifully on it. And it has C8 MCT in it. And C8 is a medium, so MCT is medium chain triglyceride, and C8 is the most effective one to promote brain energy, right? So it's not stimulative like caffeine. This is why Christy's able to consume this and not feel that stimulation, you know, that jitteriness from the caffeine. The L-theanine plus the C8 MCT balances the jitteriness and gives brain boosting energy and focus. And it has grass-fed butter in it and other wonderful things that just feed your entire body.
That's awesome. I don't think we went over the word nootropics. That might be a new word for people. Do you want to tell us what that is?
Yeah, I meant to. Thank you. Yeah, so nootropics is basically a class of supplements or drugs that support brain health. So that's the definition. So nootropics, think of neurons. And so neurotransmitters. So basically the connections that are made in the neurons or the nerves, the brain cells. And as a result, actually, they're showing that, you know, they've said in the past, which I never believed, and I'm sure you didn't believe either, that you can't grow new brain cells. They only die, but you can't produce new brain cells. I never believed that. And they are proving that you can grow new brain cells. And they're proving that the nootropics, you know, this whole, whether it's a medicine or whether it's a supplement that is supporting neuron health, brain health, they're showing that it is creating new brain cells. So I am convinced, like I drink this every day. I'm like, I'm growing new brain cells because I can tell you, I feel like my IQ is higher and I can concentrate and I can work. Like I'm a bit obsessive. I love to work. It's so it's not a chore. Like I work 100 hours a week because I love it. And and I'm not anymore. I'm energized. And that's a shift for me.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I think I might be totally attached to it as well because, you know, I bought it for the office and we were supposed to do like on Monday, it's part of our 12 days at Christmas. And I was like, oh, we'll make some, you know, mocha peppermint lattes for people and we'll have those for a fun like little holiday thing. But I'm going to use the nootropic coffee and then some like chocolate mint electrolytes that we just met with, and I'm like, we're gonna make it all like this huge health drink and we'll show people like your coffee can multitask for you. But the stupid samples keep disappearing because I keep taking them home with me, and I'm like, I need to order more by Monday because we're not gonna have our latte day because I drank it all.
I love that. I love that your coffee can multitask for you. That's I love that phrase. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, what you just said, like when I first got this coffee, like everything, I'm the guinea pig, just like you. And then I'm like, do I like the taste? Do I like the way it feels? And when I first took it, I was so skeptical. I'm such a skeptic. And with the coffee, I was so skeptical and I was like, whatever, you know, whatever. It took me 2 days and I'm like, I'm addicted to this stuff. Like I never, ever want to stop drinking it because my brain was just firing.
I have mine right here, by the way.
Love it. So awesome.
As I was getting ready to record today, I'm like, gonna need this today. Okay, so that's awesome. And then how did they get it into the skincare? So I love the eye and the lip duo, and that was part of our 12 days of Christmas too. Yeah, thank you for bringing them.
Yeah, I have everything. I brought the coffee, you know, I wanted to be able to show everybody. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, just backing up. Like this is the trim. It looks like custard. I just wanted people to be able to see it. So the trim looks like custard, the liquid collagen, there's various blends. This one has antioxidants, fruits. It has resveratrol and antioxidants in it. The lip and the eye duo. There's the moisturizer. So you can see.
Yeah. I like all their containers too.
Yeah, they did such a good job. Like the coffee is great because it comes in these little packages, so it doesn't go stale, and you can travel with them. I love that.
We brought them to New York. We drove from Florida to New York and back over Thanksgiving, and I had the coffee little sticks with me. It was so easy because all I had to do was go find hot water somewhere.
Yeah, I love that. I just like they're just and the liquid collagen comes in travel packs too. It's like they were so smart to think about modern life.
Yeah.
Style. But I digressed.
No, it's totally fine. The skincare though, I'm assuming it's because it's the small, perfect size molecule why it actually is effective, because there's other skincare products that claim that it has collagen or collagen boosting ingredients. And like you said you've tried every type of collagen. I think I've tried every type of like clean, holistic type of skincare and just fallen flat on every single one of them, like completely disappointed. And I'm like, the stuff actually works.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Cause just like I'm obsessive about my health, I'm obsessive about the aging because who wants to see yourself age, right? So I have spent thousands, I'm not even exaggerating. Like I just put it as part of my budget, like literally part of my budget and, tax exempt. I buy skincare products. And I go and get facials. Like you'll see on my social media how often I'm in an office getting a facial. Mm-hmm. And so I meet different estheticians. And so I don't always go to the same person. I literally do that on purpose. I go and I meet with different estheticians, have different treatments. I have different conversations with all of them. I have bought thousands of dollars worth of skincare products, trying to find clean, non-toxic skincare products that work. Right. And I've had endless conversations with the estheticians about all of these collagen skincare products and how bad they are because they sit on the surface of your skin. Yeah. And they say like their clients are coming in with massive acne breakouts and clogged pores and just really horrible skin because again, collagen is a buzzword and our skin is made of collagen and elastin and hyaluronic acid. So all of these skincare products, in the low end and the high end have collagen and hyaluronic acid, as a marketing, marketing ploy or whatever. It's just a buzzword. But the problem is, again, just exactly what you said, that molecule is so huge that it doesn't penetrate the dermis of the skin. It sits on the surface of the skin. And then hyaluronic acid also, like if you don't apply it to wet skin, it just sits on the surface of your skin and it just clogs your pores and makes a mess of things. Right. So again, it's just like, this is my theme. I'm introduced to a product. Immediately I'm skeptical because I already knew it didn't work. Right. But again, so it was explained to me that the same technology of taking that collagen, hyaluronic acid, chondroitin sulfate, because we do have chondroitin sulfate in our skin, molecule matrix, they took that same exact technology, shrunk down the molecule, put it into a cosmetic grade skincare line, and it penetrates the dermis. So it actually is able to enter the cells. It's actually able to penetrate and enter your skin. Mm-hmm. And that is where you see remarkable shifts and change. And you're able to do it from the inside out with the supplement, but then you're able to do it from the outside in with putting it on topically and allowing it to actually penetrate the dermis. And again, the photographs started coming in as like, take your picture of the skin around your eyes before you use the product. And the eye cream is $30. It's $29. I mean, I have $100 eye creams that don't do what this eye cream does.
Yeah. The beauty industry is expensive. That's why, I always say, like, I love product research too. I love like getting my hands on stuff and trying things and everything, but it's expensive. It's not a small investment. So yeah, I'm finding the products are super reasonable, especially since they deliver literally like a head to toe improvement. It's not just people are taking it because their hair is falling out and that's just the first motivation, but then they're reporting and realizing like, vision and eyebrows and digestive and gut health. And, they're holding their adjustments better. We're, a chiropractic clinic as well. They're less tender when they get adjusted. They hold their adjustments better. They have less of the joint and ligament instability and, popping and cracking kind of the stuff. So, you get what you pay for, I think.
Yeah. And with this, it's like, holy moly, you get what you pay for and then some, because of everything you just mentioned. I'm so glad you mentioned that the chiropractic adjustments are like butter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hurt.
Yeah.
And the eye health, and before I was talking about testimonials, this is worth telling my own testimony about my teeth. I had a traumatic dental experience 3 years ago. And as a result, being very naughty, I just didn't want to go back to the dentist because I couldn't confront sitting in the chair and I couldn't even hear the drill.
Right.
And finally I was like, fine, I have to get my teeth cleaned. And so it was a brand new dentist. I'd never been to their office before. And I went like a dog with the tail tucked between its legs. I was like, I know I'm going to get a lecture. This is going to be miserable. They're going to be scraping my teeth. It's going to hurt because I have some gum recession and it always hurts when they clean my teeth. And at one point, they even had to put numbing cream to clean them. And so I'm in the chair, all braced for both the lecture and pain. And the hygienist looks in my mouth. She looks around and then she's like, And I'm like, here we go. And she's like, there's nothing to clean. And I'm like, what? And she's like, when was your last cleaning? And I'm like, 3 years ago. I know. You don't have to lecture me. She's like, no, you don't understand. There's no plaque. There's no, dental buildup. There's no tartar. She's like, in a couple of places, it didn't hurt my gum. I was like, did my gums bleed? And she's like, your gums didn't bleed. There's nothing to clean. Your teeth are perfect. And then the dentist, brand new dentist, he did not hear the conversation. He wasn't in the room. He came in, introduced himself, looked in my mouth, and he's like, I've never seen such clean gums and teeth ever. And I hadn't done, the point of that story is I hadn't done anything else. I hadn't changed my diet. I hadn't changed my toothbrush or anything like that. It's because our bodies, our bones, our gums, our teeth are made of connective tissue. So these are just stories that's what happens to your spinal health. That's what happens to your joint health. That's what happens to your hair, your eyes, your nails. And also with the thing that happened to my thyroid because of I was exposed to a toxin, my eyes had dried. It's a dry eye condition caused by a thyroid issue. It was so severe that I was on steroid eye drops. I had scratched the cornea of my eye just from blinking because they had been that dry. Oh my God. And I was on prescription steroids for years. And you talk about heartbreaking, being a holistic practitioner and being on prescription eye drops and prescription thyroid medicine, and just completely devastated that was the situation. So I'm off of my prescription eye drops. I do not have dry eyes anymore at all, moist. And through blood work and through my doctors, I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not do this at home. You have to go to your doctor. Right. Through my doctor and through lab work, I am almost off of my thyroid medication, which was thought to be impossible, and I'm not alone. I have other clients who I've sent them to their doctors because I recognize the symptoms. I said, you have to get your thyroid checked. Your thyroid's repairing. And their doctors have they're on half of their thyroid medication. And these are people with autoimmune thyroid issues. So.
And they're told this is a life sentence. You're going to have it forever. There's no cure, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Well, that's what my motto here at Health by Design is. There is hope, your body heals. And that's what Tara is talking about this is just one more tool that you can tap into to help your body, restore and be everything that it was intelligently designed to be, and forego unnecessary procedures and release, addiction to meds and chemicals and reliance on prescriptions, and just really find out what your body is capable of on its own, right? That's what it's all about. Yeah. So tell our audience, of course, we could go on forever because we're so excited and we just love seeing these long-term conditions reversed, especially I think when people are told that it can't be, it's irreversible. because we're a little stubborn. I think we both have that maybe in common too. But how can people learn more or get their hands on these products they can see for themselves?
Yeah, so just contact either one of us, so it's a product that is sold only through distributors, right? So you're not going to find it on the grocery store shelf, just like all the products that Christy and I carry. So, contact either one of us. So if you do contact me, let me know that you learned about this through this podcast, because then I'm going to make sure that you get connected properly with Christy. So it's so easy. You can call her office, you can email her, contact her in whatever, she's got all these different ways for you to contact her. And me, I'm super easy on social media. Like the easiest thing in the world is just send me a message through Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger. And I'm more than happy to educate you and explain, we did a great job on the video, but, to answer your questions and get you set up.
Yeah, no, and that's great. And then we can tell you the best way to order, because there are some referral codes and some discounts and some ways to do it to make it most cost effective and get you some good credits and free products. Everybody likes all that kind of stuff. So in the show notes, I will put both of our contact information so that you can reach out with your one-on-one questions so either of us can help you. But this was so fun. I knew it was going to be.
I know. I could talk about this endlessly. It was so much fun. And the one thing we didn't talk about.
Oh yes, the pets. This is Rags, you guys.
This is Rags. I was hoping she was gonna sleep through the interview because this was
so good.
She did so good.
She did so good. She was on her back. My dog Peter, he does that too, and she was on her back, but her legs are so much longer than Pete's legs. It was cute.
They call it, when greyhounds do it, they call it roaching, because they look like cockroaches with their long legs in the air. So she's a rescue former racing greyhound, and she's 4 years old, and beautifully treated, very well treated, very healthy dog, but she's a pro athlete, an elite athlete. So you can imagine the pounding on the joints, being in they run up to 45 miles an hour in 30 seconds.
Dang.
So there's that, and then they all live in a kennel basically, so she has like kennel butt, so she has dry fur and dry skin, and it's changing because there's the pet collagen is the exact same, it's the exact same proprietary formula, but then of course they make it, I think, I forget, beef flavored or something flavored.
Oh, got it.
It just laps it up, and we are literally seeing her change in front of our eyes. And that's so important with the pets, because there's no placebo with pets. It either works or it doesn't.
That's true.
Getting compliments, people are petting her and they're like, oh, she's so soft, and
Aww. She's our own little pet testimonial. So yes, and they have pet products, which we have a senior Chihuahua, so we're gonna have to start getting her on stuff. We had Paisley. She passed 2 years ago now, but she used to be my office dog when I was still in Rochester, New York, and I just kept bringing her back to life. Like, she had some little health things that would show up, and Scott said, my husband was like, she's so lucky she's your dog because you just keep keeping her alive, and now little Pete is our new dog, and I'm like, well, if Paisley lived such a healthy long life, like, we used to have even more technology and advancement now, so he's gonna live forever, I think.
Right? Yeah. That's what I think. They say 10 to 15 years. I'm like, well, as humans, we can live to 120. These pets need to be able to live to 20 or longer than that.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. This is so much fun. And yeah, Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you. Your health and how you feel on a daily basis directly impact your mental, emotional, and spiritual health. We will help you reprogram your way of thinking and be on a plan that works for your body instead of against it. It is time to rewrite the false belief that health abnormalities are normal and that it just is what it is. You do not have to live with feeling less than 100%.
We invite you to take a serious look at how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Is what you're doing working? Do you want to learn how to live a more holistic life that's still enjoyable and fun? The 90-10 lifestyle can be the bridge from subpar results to the vibrant and abundant lifestyle that you've been looking for. So click the link by this video so you can get started today. We truly, truly know that this program can change your life. We'll see you on the inside.